Shalom, 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 everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to Reading with Shilo. Reading with Shilo, man. We are here for the last two chapters. The last two chapters of Barak and Deborah United by Mary L. Windsor and Dr. Rudolph R. Windsor. The final two chapters on the book. It was definitely longer than expected. Shalom, shalom, spiritual conversationalists. Shalom. Glad that you're here for the last two chapters. The last two chapters, man. We're going to see if Deborah gets what she wants. She wants Barak to be more spiritual. He trusted in her. They went to war. General Cicero was killed by Jael. She took revenge for him killing her husband. And now we're about to see what's going to happen next. Last two chapters. Chapter 24 and 25 of Barak and Deborah United by Mary L. Windsor and Dr. Rudolph R. Windsor. Finally, the day of the victory celebration came. While Barak was away searching for Sisera, Deborah and her retinue stayed at the guest quarters of one of the elders in the city of Deborah. Her retinue now included three persons, Sarah, Nakshan, and Marah. Arising early that morning, the ladies prepared themselves for the special celebration. After Marah finished bathing and dressing, she came into Deborah's presence. "How do I look, Deborah?" Deborah stood still and stared at Marah. "What's the matter, Deborah? You look like you've seen a ghost." Deborah hesitated and thought for a moment, not wanting to hurt her feelings. The dress is too revealing below the neckline. "Well, I just want to be admired. Is anything wrong with that?" "No," but Deborah said slowly. "My husband used to admire me often," she sniffled, lowered her head. "Now he's gone and he can't say those nice things to me anymore." "Oh, my dear troubled soul, a man doesn't have to see your bare skin to know what you have and to admire you. When a woman has a nice figure, it will show through her clothes. Now, come, Mara. I have a dress I believe you will like." She took Mara by the hand and escorted her over to the small chest. Deborah opened it and took out a large orange linen dress with a sash and golden borders. Mara opened her eyes and mouth wide and could not resist commenting, "Oh, Deborah, it's so beautiful." "Put it on and see how it fits." After Mara put on the dress, she smiled. "I love it." "I knew you would. We are about the same size," said Deborah, looking at herself and then at Mara. "You see, Mara, this dress isn't revealing, and any man can see that you have a fine shape. It is not too loose and not too tight. It is just right. Mara, I want you to make me a promise that you will be a good example to our young girls who are growing up to be ladies. You must understand, Mara, that most people will not be convinced by things we say and teach, but by what we do." "Yes, Deborah, I promise." "One last thing, Mara. It is easy to earn a few gold shekels, but harder to make a difference in life. By this, I mean as you become more successful and fortunate, remember to reach back and help someone else. This is how we make a difference in the world and make it a better place. Now we must be on our own way to the victory celebration. Barak and his soldiers will also be there." It was a little past midday when Barak and his soldiers rode into the city of Deborah. Everyone could see the clear blue sky interspersed. Everyone could see the clear blue sky interspersed with some white clouds. The city was crowded with men, women, children, and soldiers carrying palm branches. Soldiers who fought bravely and had listened to the encouragement of Deborah came to thank the Almighty and to celebrate their victory. Most people wave the branches of the palm trees as a symbol of celebration, victory, and joy. It was a beautiful, majestic sight to behold the unity and to hear the hymns of praise. As they marched into the city, they passed by shops, vending stands, and houses. Some of these houses had two stories. From the rooftops, the ladies and children threw down fresh flowers to the soldiers. It's like confetti. They threw down that confetti. Captain Enoch and Captain David rode on their horses behind Barak, with their troops brandishing their latest weapons captured from the enemy. The Levites blew the ram's horns and trumpets and beat the drums, and the people rejoiced in their victory and yelled, "Hallelujah!" You could see smiles on the faces of everyone. Barak, Captain Enoch, and Captain David stopped in front of the reviewing stand and saluted the elders, priests, princes, and the dignitaries. The viewing stand was made of wood, and the railing was decorated with palm branches along the rear and the sides. Barak caught the eye of Deborah, and they gazed at one another as they wanted to talk, but it was not the right time. Then there was a yell from the crowd, "Where is Sisera?" Barak turned and looked at the man. Before Barak could answer, another man shouted, "Yes, Barak, we want to know what happened to Sisera." "He was killed by a woman," commented Barak as he turned toward the man. Another man asked, "Barak, are you saying that you did not capture Sisera?" "That is right. I did not capture Sisera. A woman named Jael killed Sisera in her tent. She took the tent nail and drove it through his temple with a hammer." Men and women turned to those standing nearby and asked, "Did you hear that? Sisera killed by a woman." "Yes, Sisera killed by a woman," another man repeated. "Can you believe it?" interrupted an older woman. "The mighty Sisera killed by a woman." The news spread like wildfire throughout the city. Then the women began to chant. Sisera stood tall before his fall, and the Lord delivered Sisera into the hands of a woman. Everyone began to dance in the street and in the open places. They danced to the music of the flutes, the cymbals, the tambourines, and the drums, praising the Almighty for their victory. As the people moved to the beat of the music, they pulled Barak into the dance. "Come on, Barak, come. Let's see if you are as good of a dancer as you are a soldier," urged a pretty woman, smiling seductively. Different women grabbed him by the arm as they danced in the circle. They took 2 steps backwards and then 2 steps forward as they clapped their hands to the rhythm of the folk music. Barak appeared caught up in the joy of the moment, and it was difficult for him to break loose. As he danced, he looked up and caught Deborah's eyes, and he attempted to go to her, but the women continued to pull him around the circle. One lady said to him, "Come on and enjoy yourself. You act like you're in a daydream." Finally, Barak broke loose from the women and approached the platform. As he approached, the soldiers snapped to attention and raised their right fist to their chests. On all sides of the platform stood the soldiers with their weapons, captured from the Canaanites. A few moments later, Elder Ram whispered to Barak, "It is your time to speak next. I have spoken already, and Deborah will speak after you. I'll introduce you." I'll introduce you. "This is all right with me, Elder Ram." When Elder Ram walked to the center of the platform, the large crowd was still dancing and singing. He raised his hands high over his head to indicate to the crowd to stop dancing and singing. The music stopped. The people slowly became quiet, and the crowd became attentive. "O people of Israel, I stand here before you again not to give a speech, but to introduce to you a man who has dedicated 20 years of his life fighting for you. The prophetess Deborah told us that the Lord had chosen him for this mission. And without further delay, I bring to you Barak ben Abiniam, our liberator." Barak went to the center of the platform to speak. As he walked, his eyes fell upon Deborah standing at the opposite side of Demetrius, his family, and his medical assistants. The multitude went wild with applause, chanting his name, clapping their hands, and making a yodel sound with their tongues. The applause lasted for a long time, and then finally stopped when he raised his hands. "Hebrew citizens, shouted Barak with a loud bass voice. Looking over the entire crowd, the crowd went wild again with applause, but the voices soon subsided. Hebrew citizens, I welcome you to the victory celebration in the name of our God, in the name of our elders, in the name of Deborah, the prophetess, explained Barak, as he looked over the crowd to the right and then to the left. Today, we dedicate this great victory to the glory of our God and to the glory of Israel, which we all belong. Let us honor our brave soldiers who sacrificed their lives unto death for the freedom of our people. When our soldiers captured the city of Harosheth Hagoyim, they killed King Jabin and liberated thousands of our people who are now free from a hard labor. They have now returned home to their wives and children. Again, the crowd applauded like thunder and chanted his name. Barak, Barak, be our judge. Barak, Barak, be our judge. Barak quieted the crowd again with an upraised hands and continued. This celebration would not be complete without special recognition given to our friends who came from a far off land. These visitors have been with us for more than a few weeks. As soon as you know, Demetrius and his associates have been trained in Egypt as physicians. They have rendered their services unselfishly for the healing of our soldiers. As a result, they have saved many lives. At this time, I'm going to ask Dr. Demetrius to come up front. After he came up, Barak said, Dr. Demetrius, we salute you. Then the drums and trumpets sounded, and the soldiers snapped to attention. And after the salute, Barak presented Dr. Demetrius with a golden medallion, which Barak placed around his neck. Barak also instructed two of his soldiers to bring up a chest of gold coins. Demetrius' eyes lit up and he smiled. This is so nice of you, General Barak, but I can't accept this, he stuttered, flustering. Yes, but we want to have this. We want you to have this because of your great generosity and untiring service, explained Barak. As he moved the chest closer to him, we now know how you, your family, and associates spent many sleepless nights caring for the wounded. Well, if you insist, we will use this money to help build a hospital and a medical school back home. This is truly a blessing, he said. Demetrius then looked at the chest of gold coins again in amazement. Barak once again looked up at Demetrius. Have you anything more to say? We want to honor you by allowing you to speak to us for a short while, explained Barak, as he smiled. Oh, yes, surely, he uttered as he squirmed to gain his composure. But I'll need some more time because I want to praise you and your God. Well, in that case, then take all the time you need, just long as you finish before tomorrow morning. I'll finish before night, Demetrius smiled, turned around slowly, and the crowd became quiet. This is truly a surprise. It is with great honor that I stand here before you today. I want to thank you, General Barak, Deborah, the princes, the priests, the elders, and all of you good people for your hospitality and kindness. He choked with emotion as he wiped the tears from his eyes with the sleeve of his tunic. I am gratified to share with you these few moments of our great victory, of your great victory. It was more than 2 weeks ago that I first met your commander at the city of Tisra. At that time, he informed me that he was going up against Sisera with only 10,000 soldiers. And I told him that it was suicide, and surely you do not expect to win. However, little did I know that the stars and the God of heaven would fight on your behalf. The windows of heaven opened up. Thunder and lightning terrified. The windows of heaven opened up. You hear that in Genesis. The windows of heaven opened up. Thunder and lightning terrified the enemy. A fierce storm broke out with heavy rain and hail that obscured the vision of the Canaanites. That's right, said Barak. Now it is befitting at this time for me to relate to you the true story. The great king of Egypt, Thutmose III, led 17 military campaigns into Canaan and Syria, and he won by his strategy, his numbers, and his great war machine. But, O Israel, you didn't have these luxuries. You won by the spirit of the right and not by might. The sages and the pyramids and the temples of Egypt taught that there was nothing more powerful than the idea of freedom when its time has arrived. O Israel, your time has arrived, he emphasized, pointing his outstretched hand toward the heavens. And this is evident by your great victory. In closing, I want to thank Barak and Deborah for asking me to remain here to attend to the wounded. Their request gave me the rare opportunity to gain additional practical medical skill and to experience a victory unique in the annals of military science. I saw with my own eyes the manifestation and intervention of God on behalf of a people lacking military might. Now, my work here is almost complete, and I will be returning home in a few days to join my people and my relatives, and peace be with you. After that momentaneous and timely speech, the crowd went into a frenzy and roared with applause. It was very inspiring to the people to hear these words coming from a Greek. When Demetrius turned around to face Barak, and the general spoke succinctly. 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 Let's see. The general spoke succinctly. Succinctly. Succi. Succinct. Clearly expressed in few words. Succinctly. Clearly expressed in few words. The general spoke clearly with few words, or the general spoke succinctly. Well done, Dr. Demetrius. I couldn't have done better myself. And finally, Barak embraced him and patted him on the back. Right at that moment, Demetrius' wife and daughter wiped the tears from their eyes because they were overcome with great emotion. After Demetrius finished his speech, Barak beckoned for the 3 medical assistants to come forward. We want to honor you also for your great service you have rendered to our wounded soldiers. Barak then placed a gold medallion around the neck of the 3 medical assistants. We thank you for the medallions and your kind words. It was a pleasure to serve your people. Meanwhile, the 3 medical assistants returned to the back of the platform, and at that same time, Elder Ram beckoned to Deborah to come forward. When she came to the front of the stage, the multitude gave her an exceptionally prolonged ovation. She attempted to speak several times, but could not. O people of Israel, O people of Israel, but the crowd continued to applaud her. Finally, she proceeded to speak, and the ovation subsided. O people of Israel, the previous speakers have spoken very well, and what I would add on the most part would be repetition. Therefore, I am going to be brief. I am asking you to love and forgive one another for any wrongs. Hatred is like a parasite or disease. It gradually destroys and eats away the vital organs of the human body. When we forgive one another, we stop the cycle of hate. We lift the heavy burden from our soldiers. Then, together, we can make progress for the improvement of our world. Show mercy and patience to each other. When you do this, you will receive mercy when you need it the most. If you do this, you will make me very happy. Will you do this? Yes, yes, answered the crowd. They're always saying something. The crowd always saying something. Yes, yes, answered the crowd. I can't hear you. Will you do this? She repeated. Yes, yes, Mother Deborah. The crowd answered much louder. Then Deborah and Barak began to sing a song. Praise you, the Lord, for avenging of Israel, when the people willingly offered themselves. Hear, O ye kings, give ear. O ye princes, even I, will sing unto the Lord. I will sing praises to the Lord God of Israel. Blessed above women shall Jael, the wife of Heber, the Kenite be. Blessed shall she be above women in the tent. Then Deborah turned around and called the wife and the daughters of Demetrius to come forward. They looked at each other with surprise and walked slowly up to Deborah. Demetrius stood nearby and gave the translations to the Hebrew and the Greek languages. Deborah began to speak slowly. In appreciation of your devoted service to our wounded soldiers, I present to both of you these valuable necklaces. As Deborah placed necklaces around their necks, she kissed both of them on their cheeks. The ladies were very touched by the gift and by Deborah's warm smile. Isis, the wife of Demetrius, stood there with her pink silk dress. This is truly a surprise, she commented. We didn't expect this. However, we do thank you so much. At last, Hatshepsut, the daughter of Demetrius, stepped forward. Deborah, we shall never forget your kindness. After she finished speaking, Hatshepsut hugged Deborah warmly and kissed her on the cheek. And as Deborah turned the back to the back of the platform with the ladies, she noticed a woman placing a chaplet of flowers around Barak's neck and kissed him on both cheeks and hugged him. When she departed, Barak conversed with the various dignitaries on the platform. After that, he looked around casually for Deborah, but she was nowhere in sight. Later, he saw his first officer. Have you seen Deborah, Captain Enoch? Not recently. The last time I saw her, she was standing with the dignitaries, he replied, looking worriedly toward the viewing stand. I know that, Captain. Now tell me something I don't know, he snapped harshly, looking around for her. The captain looked startled momentarily with disbelief and then gazed around the crowd. Excuse me, Captain, for being snappy. Would you take some soldiers and look for her? At that moment, Captain David approached Barak. The elders want to see you, General. Barak returned to the platform and saluted the elders. Elder Ram approached Barak smiling and said, the people and the elders want you, along with Deborah, to be our judges and rulers. Since she is already a judge, do you accept? Well, this is a surprise. Do you accept, Barak? Well, yes, indeed. Where's Deborah? Asked the elder. I don't know, answered Barak, looking worried. She just disappeared, he remarked, shaking his head. Disappeared? Repeated the elder, with disbelief on his face. Well, come with me. It is time for me to swear you in as ruler of the people. I'll be right behind you, elder. When the both of them reached the center of the platform, Barak stood with his eyes fixed directly on Elder Ram. Then Elder Ram recited the oath of office. By you, Barak, do you, Barak, swear to uphold the commandments of the Lord and to protect the Hebrew tribes from all of their enemies, whether they be foreign or homeborn. Yes, I do swear, answered Barak, with a stern look on his face. I now pronounce you judge and ruler. At that time, all the people cheered and shouted with great joy. Finally, Elder Ram informed the people that the formalities were finished, and he encouraged them to enjoy themselves by eating, dancing, and singing praises to the Lord. Not long after, Barak turned around towards the crowd and shouted, Hebrew citizens, let the celebrations begin. Then a group of ladies and men began to sing Hebrew spiritual songs. As Barak walked to the other side of the platform, he noticed Elder Ariel and the chief elder of the council of the 70 elders. The elder looked up at Barak and said, "Congratulations on your appointment as judge and ruler of the people." "Thank you, elder. I'm glad we were able to come to a celebration." "Well, Barak, I have some advice for you. Now that you are a ruler of the people, remember that you are mortal, that you must serve the people, and that you must serve not for your own personal gain. In order for you to be a good leader, you must love the people. And in order for you to help and to save the people from social decline, you must serve the people and work for their personal welfare," said the 90-year-old elder in a deep bass voice as he touched Barak's arm. "Walk humbly before God and before your fellow man in righteousness and with justice. Remember this: justice, a helping hand of righteousness, elevates a race. But sin and violence is a total disgrace and a downfall to any people." At that moment, he looked around the platform. "By the way, where's Deborah? Where is Deborah?" "I don't know. She just disappeared," answered Barak, throwing his hands in the air. Elder Ariel stared at Barak and repeated, "You don't know?" The elder had a thoughtful look on his face and concluded, when an eligible woman who is not spoken for runs away from a handsome, eligible man in the glory of his day, rest assured she wants to be pursued. This is especially true when she did not have anyone else in mind. Now go and find her. Find Deborah and join up with her. She will help you, and together, both of you can govern the people and save them from self-destruction, social decay, and hopelessness." "Yes, elder, I'll go. I'll go find her," Barak intimated with determination. The soldiers looked around the city and checked the roads and asked about Deborah, but they were not able to find her location. After Barak finished meeting with the elders, he returned to Captain Enoch. "Did your men locate Deborah, Captain?" "No, General. She just vanished like a young doe among the thickets," he responded, shaking his head in disbelief. "Have you had any harsh words with her lately?" "Yes, but that was the night before the battle. She was very angry with me because I suggested to the council of the elders that we should call off the war. She said that I had no trust in God and no belief in her. She ended the conversation by saying that there will be no marriage and stormed away with tears in her eyes." "Marriage? You asked her to marry you?" "I did. And what's wrong with that?" "Not a thing, General, not a thing at all. It's just the first time I've heard of this. When did you ask her? And what was her answer?" "She said that she would consider it after the war. I couldn't understand it. She had sent me an invitation to attend the victory celebration and then just disappeared like a gazelle in the wheat field. I think she is interested in you, General. I could tell by the way she was looking at you. I think so too. Then she got so angry at me. We haven't had any long conversations since." There was a silence, and after a few moments, Barak spoke. "Well, I think I'll go visit her next week and see where I stand." Chapter 25. Chapter 25. For 7 days, Deborah, let me see, about 4 pages. For 7 days, Deborah thought about Barak. She wondered how he was doing and what he was doing. Would he come to visit her? Was he still interested in her? Did he have another woman in mind? She remembered the woman who kissed him in the city of Deborah. Then Deborah recalled that on his first visit, he said that he would pursue her. As a result, she wanted to hear from him. She felt unsure of where they stood, and she had some questions. Man, you don't want to say you ain't want to be married. That's where you stand. You stand right there. You didn't want to be married. It was on a late, cloudy, dreary morning 1 week later that Barak arrived at Deborah's estate. As Barak looked through the gate, he could see Nakshan and Mara talking and holding hands. He could discern from the expressions on their faces that they were serious about each other. Barak knocked on the gate and Nakshan came and opened it. Congratulations, Prince Barak, on your victory. Thank you. Peace be to you, Nakshan. I came to see Deborah, but first I want to talk to the little boy Ben. Would you be so kind to call him and tell his mother that I would like to speak with her also? My pleasure. I'll do it right away, Prince Barak. After a little while, Nakshan returned with Ben and his mother. When Ben saw Barak, he ran to him eagerly with a big smile on his face. Barak stooped down and then embraced warmly. Ben said, and they embraced warmly. Ben said, I miss you so much, Prince Barak. Ben wiped the tears from his eyes. I was afraid that you would not return. God was with us. Is this your mother? Yes, her name is Leah. It is my pleasure to meet you, Leah, said Barak. I have heard, said Leah, a lot about you from Ben, Deborah, and other people. You come highly regarded, and the people look up to you. Well, thank you. Your son wants to be something like a father, wants me to be something like a father to him. Do you approve? Do I have a choice? Barak, you stole the hearts of the people, and now you have stole the hearts of my only son. The heart of my only son. What else do I have left, Prince Barak? You are his mother. You will always be his mother. In addition, he loves you. When you allowed him to be attached to me, he will love you even more. I am not sure whether Ben is old enough to decide what he wants. Ben is old enough to know if he wants a father figure in his life to guide him. He needs a good father image, and he wants it. Can he stay at my estate for certain periods of time? Barak paused. I promise you that I will be a good father to him as my father was to me. Leah stared at him in silence and said, very well, you have my consent. I want the best for my son. Shit, how many women do that today? How many women do that? Good. You are a wise woman. Also, I came here to visit Deborah and to express my sincere affection for her. I hope to win her love. Well, good luck to you, Barak, and God is with you. She smiled, and both Leah and Ben departed. After conversation, Nakshan escorted Barak to the back of the courtyard where Deborah sat under her palm tree. Peace be with you, Deborah, said Barak. Well, this is a surprise, Barak. What seekest thou? What seekest thou? I seek you. She asked with her back to him, denying him the privilege of face-to-face contact. I seek thee. I seek thee. There are many women in Galilee. Why thou seekest after me? Shut your ass up. I'll get right to the heart of the matter, he said, standing 5 cubits behind her. When you were at the city of the birth, I wanted to see you. You did see me, she said, looking over her shoulder. I meant I wanted to talk with you. Why didn't you, Barak? I was there. I was busy celebrating our victory with the people of the town. Oh, I understand. She drew in her lips. You were very busy with the ladies. Shut your ass up. You were very busy with the ladies. Yes, and when I looked around again, you were gone. Barak then raised both of his hands, leaned forward, and asked, why did you disappear? I left because I didn't want to interfere with your happiness. But you are my happiness, he interrupted. And the second reason I left was because I had completed my work there. Therefore, I felt no need to linger. I see, my dear, observing all of her reactions. Now, since you know why I left the city of Deborah, what are the real reasons you came down here? The first reason is I wanted to talk with little Ben and his mother, and she had agreed to let her son visit me for certain periods of time. That was a wise move on her part, on your part, Barak. Now, what is the second reason you came? I've made war, and that is over. Now I want to make peace with you. To make peace, first I need you to answer a few questions, she said, turning around slowly. This is pleasing in my eyesight, Barak remarked. When you were at the War Council meeting on Mount Tabor, you told the elders that the attack should be called off. What made you change your mind? After thinking about the situation for several hours that night, finally, I had to admit the truth that our people would not be better off without the war because Cicero was making our lives a living hell. I could continue to be a good mountain fighter leading a few hundred men. However, I realized that if I did not take advantage of the moment, it would be even harder in the future to gain the support of the elders and the masses. In addition, you did make a strong appeal to me to take action on the following morning. Barak, I want you to know that on that very night on Mount Tabor, you put me through a lot of pain. I promised my people that they would be free, and you almost make a liar out of me. Well, that was not my intention. I get no pleasure out of hurting you or anyone else. I thought that I was doing the right thing for my men and for my nephews. You had nephews in the war? Yes, there were two. Did they survive? Yes, but not without injury. I'm so happy to hear. I am so sorry to hear about the injury, she said with deep concern, raising her head. Barak continued to speak. If they had not survived, I didn't know what or how I would have revealed the bad news to their mothers. As it was, I did have the opportunity to see and speak with the sisters at the victory celebration, and at that time she put a chaplet of flower around my neck, kissed me, and thanked me for looking after Joel. Oh, I did not know that your sister was there. Yes, my sister told me that my nephew Joel was doing just fine. In addition to thinking that I was doing the right thing for my men, I didn't realize the truth until after the war. What truth? It was after the war that I realized that the divine creator could have chosen another man instead of me. After the battle, I understood that I was wrong about you, wrong about God, and wrong about spiritual things. Well, go on. The war became a revelation to me. I must confess that when I first marched into battle, I did not believe that we could win against those great odds. I guess I didn't believe. He scratched his eyebrows as he spoke slowly, because I didn't know how we would win the victory. I didn't know either, commented Deborah. Excuse me for interrupting you. Would you please continue? But when I saw the heavy rain beat down into the eyes of the enemy and blinded them, then I became connected with God and convinced that the Almighty was fighting our battle. When I heard the thundering and saw the lightning, I instinctively gave the command to my soldiers to charge forward. It was as though God, the lightning, and I became one at the same moment. I can assure you, Barak, that you were born for this task. And as you know, your name means lightning one. She explained are you finished, Barak? No. After God fought our battles and after the victory, then I realized the importance of all the spiritual things you had been telling me all along. This is wonderful, Barak, she said, smiling. In view of the fact that war has many horrible consequences, I am glad that it had at least a spiritual awakening for you. It was a dreary, cloudy morning when Barak first arrived. As he continued to converse with Deborah, he gazed up into the heavens. The thick, dark clouds started to break up, and the bright, warm sun began to shine through, bringing hope and promise to a better day. Deborah, everything seems to have come to a complete circle. A complete circle? And what do you mean? She inquired with a puzzled look on her face. Well, Barak took one step to the side and looked down. Then he gazed up at her as he walked. I mean, our first meaningful conversation began here. We went to many places together. Now that the war is over, here is where I return. At that moment, Barak turned around, faced the courtyard wall, and raised his hand to his mouth and eyes, as if he was preoccupied with deep thoughts. Then he turned to her and spoke. We came through peacetime, wartime, and now peacetime again. So where do we stand, Deborah? We, yes, you and I. Deborah lowered her head, smiling, and then she looked up. I'm waiting for the right man. Well, I believe that you found him. I am the right man, he said with confidence. Oh, you think so? What makes you so sure? She inquired, sensing a little arrogance. I think that the Lord meant for us to be together from the beginning. Barak paused. If this was not meant to be, your deceased brother-in-law, Caleb, or another man, would be standing right here where I'm standing, my dear. Deborah smiled slightly, and for a moment she could not speak. Then she mustered enough energy. Since you've been here today, I haven't heard how you feel. How I feel about you, asked Barak, finishing her unspoken words. Yes, how do you feel about me? She asked vigorously, staring into his dark brown eyes. My feelings are very strong for you, Deborah. They haven't changed since the dance and our conversation at the city of Kadesh, where I introduced you to my father. He moved closer to her and took hold of both her hands. He said to her softly, I love you, Deborah, and I want you to be my wife. She wanted to shout hallelujah. Oh, finally, a nigga want to marry me. Oh, man. She wanted to shout hallelujah, but she retained her composure. Then she looked away and smiled. Are you sure it's love or is it passion? Oh, Deborah, I'm sure when I say love. I do not mean passion. I mean spiritual love. From the depth of my heart and from the depth of my sacred inner soul, I could have had plenty of passion. I ran away from passion to find you. You have really changed, Barak. And in what way? I remember the times when you were reluctant to say the divine name or to talk about spiritual matters. Well, I know. The word changed all that. It was just no way we could have won without the heavens fighting for us. Barak looked into her dreamy eyes and drew her up on her feet, placing his arms around her shoulders. His strong chest pressed gently against her well-defined figure. Damn, man, it's like a damn love novel. His strong chest pressed gently against her well-defined figure. She sensed a feeling of peace and harmony. She began to feel wanted, loved, and alive again. Then Barak lowered his head and kissed her on her cheek. Will you be my wife, Deborah? He asked again in a whisper. She raised her small, soft right hand to his face and stroked the side of his cheek affectionately as she looked at his eyes. She choked for the words. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 she said in a whisper. I can't tell it's whispering because they have all these exclamation points after yes. So I'll be your wife, Barak. I'll be your. He interrupted her last word and kissed one cheek and then the other. Staring into her eyes, he gently pressed his lips against hers, lingering for a few seconds. Abruptly, she pulled away. What's wrong, Deborah? Why did you pull away? He asked with the feeling of a loss. It's a woman thing, she said, turning her back to him. Barak, do you have any idea when you want to get married? Just as soon as we can make all the arrangements. Good. Because if you want to be around me, I suggest we start making plans right now. Right away. My man, right away. She ready. Now, that's fine with me. You want to begin right now? Yes, we can start right now because we are going to have a lot of preparation for families. Finally, the wedding Finally, the wedding. Deborah and Barak settled down to as much of a normal life that public servants could expect. They decided to spend their lives together, partly in the city of Kadesh and partly at Deborah's estate outside of Bethel. After the wedding, Deborah reminded Barak, we must live by being good examples and to teach the people to give and share with one another. This is how we can make the world a better place in which to live for the benefit of future generations. When we share our wealth, this act builds love and helps to remove disease, greed, and hunger from the earth. Yes, I agree. I am ready to support this concept. Many people continued to come to her and seek advice and judgment. She became the mother of Israel. Moreover, Deborah and Barak judged and ruled Israel for 40 years, and the land rested in peace. Ah, oh man, we are done. We are done. That is Barak and Deborah United by Mariel Windsor and Dr. Rudolph R. Windsor. Pretty good book. Pretty good book, man. Honestly, I thought I'd never finish that thing. Oh, it was long. It was long. Yes, indeed. It was long. But, hey, it's a good book. All right. Now we got a couple more. It's a good book, man. A good book. We already read that. All right, we got a couple of them to see. I don't know which one we're gonna read next. So we got The Emancipation from Mental Slavery by Marcus Garvey. We have Carter G. Woodson, The Miseducation of the Negro. We got Slave Narratives of the Underground Railroad. Frederick Douglass, The Narrative of Life. I think I want to read this one. I'll put that one to the side. We got Booker T. Washington, Up from Slavery. And W.E.B. Du Bois, The Souls of Black Folks. So we got a couple of them, man. We also have the Book of Jasher. I want to read. I definitely want to read that here soon as well. So one of these gonna get it read. We're gonna try to read them all. I'm just not sure which one to start off with, but I think I'm gonna start off with Mr. Frederick Douglass. It was something I read about in another book of his, or not his book, but I want to say in Sherazad Ali books that she mentioned his book, and it was something about the thought pattern that he had, that kind of intrigued me. So I think this one is going to be the next one. The Frederick Douglass is going to be the next book on the list. But we're definitely going to read some of these others. I definitely want to try to get to some of the smaller books before I get to the bigger book. I think we're going to do it like this, man. We're going to do it like this. There's a lot of pages in this book of Jasher. We're going to do 2 for 1. We're going to do Frederick Douglass. Then we'll come back with Marcus Garvey, the Book of Jasher, and then we'll figure out the other ones. We'll figure out which way to go in the other ones. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. 7 books to read. 7 books. 7 books to read. But we'll get them in there. We'll get them in there. We'll get it in now. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in here now, so I can go ahead and get it ready. This is a Dover Thrift Edition. The narrative of life. The narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass. You know, since it's so say Black History Month and stuff like that, man. Since it's so say Black History Month, we're gonna read about some Black people. But that's all I've been doing. BARAK and Deborah was so say Black people. We read about them. Now we're gonna come back with some more. Frederick Douglass, closer to our time. And Garvey. Man, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoyed everything. Hey, that's it for today, man. That's it for today. And while I'm on here, man, I'm gonna try to keep posting videos, man. I'm trying to keep posting videos of me doing my carvings. So I'm still working. It's still a work in progress. Still a work in progress. We're gonna keep it going. I'm gonna try to keep posting videos of that as well, just to mix it up a little bit, give you a different look, a different window into the life of Shilo, to show what some of this reading has done. Another book, Wood Carving for Beginners. Reading and applying, what reading and applying can look like and what it can do. And I'm still a beginner. I'm still a beginner at this wood carving stuff, but man, we're gonna keep pushing forward. Hey, but that's what it is, man. Shalom, everybody. I hope y'all gonna have a wonderful day. Stay warm. It's cold. It's cold down here. I know it's cold in a lot of places. Y'all stay warm, stay safe. Man, happy Sabbath to all y'all keeping the Sabbath coming up. And I'll get back with y'all. Shalom. What you mean, spiritual conversationalist? What do you mean 4 than 6? What do you mean? Is that the order of the books you want to read? If I knew how to do like the little polls, I'm not sure how to do the polls. I would take a poll. I would take a poll to see what people want to hear. What people want to hear. And I'll go from there. But until I learn how to do that, man, I'm gonna shoot out with Frederick Douglass. See what Mr. Frederick talking about. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is, spiritual conversation, man. Hey, all praises. Let's keep pushing. Let's see what we can learn and grow from. And, you know, Lord spare life, we'll see another day and we'll keep moving, man. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. Y'all have a nice one. Shallow out.